What's up, everybody, and welcome to the TNR Sports Show. The TNR Sports Show, the number one in my book, the number one sports rated podcast in the country. Are we actually number one? No. Could we be number one? Yes. It's a great podcast brought to you by great people. Um, Ryan, what's up?
Hey, well, hello. I appreciate the introduction. Yes.
Yeah, no problem. Um, Sorry, I'm dealing with a slight cold. Nothing too terrible. Just got a little congested up there.
COVID.
No, got COVID, thank God. Not Ben Roethlisberger. I'm doing much better than that. But it is just a little slight cold, so you have to bear with me. If I just stop talking, it's just because I got snot all over my nose. But thanks for liking, subscribing. Thanks for watching the episode. I do appreciate it. We're gonna recap all the big games, talk some storylines, yada yada yada. That's what we do. College football, college football, college football. You want to come here for your college football stuff? This is where you come and get it. So I'm going to be releasing this on Sunday. On Sunday. Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on me, Ryan. But we're going to be releasing it Sunday night. So you all watch, enjoy, listen, love it, like it, all that. And we'll be good to go. What else is there? I don't know. Let's just jump right into it, Ryan. We got a bunch of stuff to cover into. A lot of stuff happened this weekend, a lot of big movement around college football. So let's just go right into it, shall we?
Do it. Do you want just do it?
Yeah. I'm gonna start at the top and then I'm gonna go down.
Cool.
All right. Nothing has changed. Oh my God. South Carolina's terrible at football. Clemson stinks. South Carolina's god awful. Coastal sucks now too. So we had our moment in the sun. It was pretty cool while it lasted, but it's over now.
The South Carolina rankings are just that we do are just kind of pointless now because they're all bad.
Yeah, they're all bad. Clemson, I bet, will be ranked in that college football playoff, just so they can say, "Oh, Wake Forest, Wake
Hey,
Forest, Clemson ranked matchup." I bet they'll be like 25.
yeah, about 25.
Yeah, 25, 24. All right. And our teams, I don't know if Ryan noticed I pulled this swift move right out of under him, but I named after Oklahoma's loss yesterday, I ranked the Arkansas Razorbacks the number one team in our teams.
I think that's a wrong call, but okay.
I do honestly believe if the two played each other right now, Arkansas will win. No, I'm gonna get to Oklahoma. You're gonna get what's yours. You're gonna get what's coming. But we'll wait. I've been trying to be peaceful so far.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, Arkansas, I think is better than Oklahoma right now. Then we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Number two, Oklahoma. Number three, Clemson. Number four, South Carolina. So there you go. If you like those four, good for you. All right. So last week, we had some football games. I got 11 of our predicted right. Ryan got 9. He stinks. I'm much smarter than him. Much smarter. It's all up here, guys.
I know the first time you got more right in like 3 weeks.
I know ball, people. I know football. And we had some embarrassing picks. Virginia. How in the world did they only score 3 points? Ryan did inform me that their quarterback was out. Not great. He must be pretty important. But that kind of sucks. Virginia still can win the whatchamacallit, by the way, which is crazy. They have like 4 losses, don't they? I don't think they're being Pitt, but they could, in theory. Win out.
They held out their quarterback was because they wanted to save him for Pitt.
Is he hurt?
He was hurt. I don't remember what kind of injury. I think it was like a throwing arm or something like that. They said he could have played, but they held him out because they wanted him to be 100% against Pitt.
Wow. Hey, screw Notre Dame. We don't matter. They don't mean nothing to nobody. Notre Dame, surprisingly good football team. And they should give Cincinnati some props for beating them. They're the only team. They beat them in Notre Dame, too. They won't get any credit for it, but they deserve credit. All right, let's go through the honorable mentions, and then we'll get into it. All right, Cincinnati 45, South Florida 28. They're Cincinnati's 5th-ranked team in the country. All right, Florida barely beat Samford 70-52. Samford, not Stanford, Samford. Samford, an FCS program, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Do you think? I don't think if Dan Mullen doesn't beat Florida State, I think gets fired.
I saw something today, man. Colin Cowherd, who I agree with sometimes and disagree with sometimes, um, he tweeted out something that kind of made sense to me, man. And these people, I agree with it. I kind of do agree with it. When you got someone like Chad Morris, for instance, right? I hate to throw him under the bus like this, but he stinks, right? He sucks. You gotta go. You gotta fire him. Gotta move on. He's not any good, right? But when you have somebody like Dan Mullen or a Jimbo Fisher or somebody like that who has kind of a bad season, you can't get rid of him, man. Dan Mullen is a good SEC football coach. People are allowed to have bad seasons, man. This is just a bad season for Florida. I mean, they made the SEC championship game. Who are you gonna go get, man? That's the big question. You sitting there, oh, Dan Mullen, Dan Mullen, Dan Mullen sucks. Well, who are you gonna go get, man? Like
Well, I mean,
who you go get? Lane Kiffin? There's only one Lane Kiffin. Everybody's fighting over him. There's only
yeah,
one Jimbo Fisher. You know what I mean? There's only one Nick Saban.
I
Who
think
you gonna get? Jim Morse? Or something? I don't know.
I mean, when you're looking at Florida, how much talent is on that team and how much talent is deciding not to go to Florida anymore and go to Georgia.
But who are you gonna bring in? That's what my point is. Who do you bring in to do that?
I don't
There's nobody
specific-
out there right now.
I mean, there are people out there.
I mean, who are you gonna bring in? That's why they don't fire Manny Diaz down there in Miami, or they don't fire Mike Norvell in Florida State. You don't brand nobody to bring in. I mean, you could go get somebody, I guess, somebody weird.
Exactly.
Luke Fickle, maybe.
I mean, there's coaches out there that are good coaches that you can get. You can get the guy at Coastal, you get the guy at Louisiana Lafayette. I mean, there's good coaches. They're just not proven in the SEC or whatever. And honestly,
I don't know. I'm kind of on the side that these coaching changes, man, you gotta slow your roll a little bit. Come on. You have a bad season, you have a bad season. I mean, bad season's gonna correlate with bad recruiting at the time, Everything's gonna seem bad when it's happening, You just gotta have some patience. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Now, on the opposite end of that, you could say, well, Texas looks pretty stupid for firing Tom Herman, right? Because Steve Sarkisian freaking sucks. So he's Sarkisian's broke like 5 records. Tom Herman wouldn't get it down to Texas, but he was at least a lot better than Steve Sarkisian has been.
I was kind of shocked that Herman got fired last year.
But it's kind of the same thinking around what you got going on with Dan Mullen right now. You bring somebody in who might be worse.
I mean, with Tom Herman, I think the difference between like a Tom Herman and a Dan Mullen. Tom Herman went 7-3 during a COVID year, won a bowl game, right? It's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. And he won. I mean, he got to a Big 12 championship game, something that hadn't been done since Mac Brown. They lost it, but they did win a Sugar Bowl. That was good. He won a bowl game every single year he was there. And then you bring in Sarkisian, you fire him because it's not good enough. And it quite frankly wasn't good enough. But then you bring in Sarkisian,
and it's worse.
And now you lose to Kansas at home, which we'll get to. And
we can just do it now.
You may not even get to a bowl game at this point. You got to play West Virginia, and I can't remember the other two. I know West Virginia is the next one they play in Morgantown, which is tough.
Probably no, I don't know who it is. Who do they play on rivalry weekend?
Oh, it's Kansas State. That's it. Kansas State. That's a tough one.
Yeah, they whipped up West Virginia yesterday.
I don't know if I mean, it doesn't even look like they're going to make a bowl game, and it's just a downgrade.
Are they going to fire him?
I think if he stays, if he doesn't right the ship next year or the year after, I think it's maybe 2 years. Then yeah. But with Dan Mullen, he
did everything like old Tom Herman did. He made the SEC championship game last year. They didn't win the bowl game, but that's because all their players quit on them. I think give Oklahoma some credit, but for being Baylor, that's who they beat Florida, right?
Hardcore. It's just.
Yeah, I know, but so is Texas. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's correlations here where I'm trying to make a point. It's like we can fire these guys. You can fire Tom Herman, but who knows if the thing you're bringing in next is going to be any better than what you got right now. Now, I do think Dan Mullen's better than Jim McElwain. There's no question about that.
Will Muschamp,
yeah. I mean, he's
I'll give you that.
he's a smart guy. He might be a loser. And when you go through these little rough patches, when you're Lord have mercy. I would love to have a rough Florida patch. They don't even know what rough is down there in the swamp. They should
Yeah.
go through some rough times. I'll show you some rough times. Anyway, I'm not getting into it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like, I don't know. People were bashing him yesterday. I guess it's not a great look, but Dan Mullen and the players were dancing in the locker room, whatever. I don't
Mhm.
know. Enjoy life a little bit, man. I don't know. I don't know. It bothered me that everybody was bashing him. I get it, man. You suck. You're Florida. But if we were losing, getting the shit kicked out of us, and then all of a sudden we beat somebody, even though it was supposed to blow them out, they did score 70 points. That's insanity.
The offense
Um,
should dance,
the
but
defense
maybe not.
stinks, but the offense, man, you win, man. You win. I don't know. Like Sam Pittman, it was ugly, but it was beautiful at the same time.
I don't
So,
mind the dancing, honestly. I mean, winning is hard. Anyone who's played any kind of sport in general, winning is hard. I
yeah.
mean, doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, soccer, volleyball, whatever. It's hard to win. And I think winning, no matter what kind of winning it is, should be celebrated. I think Florida winning over Samford, great, you won. We have a little
I do
fun.
think it's kind of like a
Fun.
monkey off their back. I think
Yeah.
that's a big, like, I don't know. You get crushed at
I think,
Georgia versus
yeah.
Georgia, and then
Like,
you
what
go
does it
and lose to
say
South
if
Carolina.
you? What does it say if you win and you don't
Then you
have
look
it?
at emotionless.
Yeah, it's
Like
just like no dance. You can't. Like, don't celebrate at all.
it
Don't be
further
hyped.
proves the point that they think you don't care that he lost the locker room. I think
Yeah,
that video proves anything that they still kind of
but,
care.
but Sarkisian lost the locker room. We'll get to that when we talk about it. But
We'll be there in a second. All right.
yeah,
Anyway, that's Florida Stanford. That wasn't really a discussion, but there you go. A little talking point for you. All right, Rutgers, Indiana. Chop that wood. Rutgers beat Indiana 38-3. Chop that wood. Alabama, New Mexico State beat them 59-3
crazy.
for the Tide.
Good job.
Utah, Arizona. Utah won 38-29. I think you're about to see Oregon lose twice to
I
Utah.
agree.
All right. What else we got on the docket? Texas Tech beat Iowa State 41-38. That's kind of surprising. Do you think they were looking ahead to Oklahoma as well? Everybody's looking ahead.
Well,
Maybe Oklahoma State will lose next week because they'll be looking ahead.
one thing about Texas Tech is I think they've got a little boost with their new head coach. They love him there. I
Yeah.
can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's like,
They already hired the new guy.
yeah, he's already coaching.
Baylor's guy left already?
No, so he's like a high school coach or I don't know, anyways.
I thought Texas Tech hired Baylor's coach, right?
Maybe he's like an assistant or something like that. But he's pretty much Sam Pittman 2.0, where he loves Texas Tech, but this is his
So this is the intern coach that's there right now.
This is the head coach moving forward.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, he's there. He's doing good.
Yeah, okay. I just thought they hired Baylor's. Who hired Baylor's coach? Didn't somebody do that?
Like their head coach?
No, somebody hired. I thought it was Texas Tech.
It was TCU.
Oh, okay.
They're looking at hiring or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I remember.
It kind of felt like a turnaround. And then for Iowa State, they've ever since they had that big win against Oklahoma State, they just haven't looked that great, to be honest.
Yeah, looking ahead.
Maybe
Oklahoma State.
I'm sure they're going to put their A game forward against Oklahoma. I agree.
Yeah.
I think everyone tries to against Oklahoma and Texas, especially with that hatred that they're leaving. But yeah, Iowa State just kind of
the SEC chants were very funny yesterday. Y'all gonna get wiped in the SEC, boy. They don't stand a chance. Y'all got to get better. Especially Texas. Texas gonna suck. They don't stand a brick. You better hope they don't keep the West. You better hope they do that fourth thing, because if they do, boy, I tell you what. Yeah, every team in the SEC West is bowl eligible. Every one of them. Isn't that crazy? I mean, we're all good. Every single team in there had 3 losses, except for Alabama. The 6-way tie is still on the table, people. The 6-way tie. We're moving forward. The biggest
bowl eligible.
Oh, I guess really one's not. I guess every team other than LSU. And LSU pretty good, man. They're playing hard for that guy. Shame that they can't win anything. Well, not too much of a shame, but I wish they would have beaten Alabama last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you. Oof. But it's never easy in the SEC, boy. SEC West. Now the SEC East sucks. So maybe they'll do that fourth thing. That'd be fun. That'd be easy. God, I hope they do that. That would be easier on us. Then we
Yeah,
can not have to freaking play. We could play Oklahoma and Texas instead of having to play Alabama and Auburn and Texas A&M and Ole Miss and LSU, because we know whoever LSU brings in is going to tighten that program up. Coach O can't do nothing. They got talent down there, man.
Yeah, they're good.
They got some talent down there. They just need a good
quarterback. That's good too. He's a true freshman.
Yeah. He was a little reckless. They'll find somebody better than him, but
true freshman, so
that's true. And he's going against a pretty decent revamped Arkansas defense. So anyway, we'll get to that. We got to keep moving forward here. FSU beat Miami 31-20. I thought Miami had the thing wrapped up, but no,
that was a good win for FSU. Definitely needed.
Yeah. Yeah, good for FSU. Shame for Miami. I like Manny Diaz. I think he's going to stick around. I think they're going to keep him. Keep it going. See what happens.
I think he's a good coach, but he's
you got to build. You got to build it. You got to take time. Not everybody can be what somehow we became. So I don't know how we did it, but we did it. What else we got? Michigan State beat Maryland. Michigan State going to Ohio State next week.
Toughy.
That's gonna be a wild game. Ohio State's gonna pass all over them, man. All over them.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's open like a 20-point favorite too.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think the only chance, if you want Ohio State to lose, the only chance you have is coming up. Coming up, what am I saying? The only chance if you want to be Michigan, Ohio State, I think Michigan beat them. Yeah. It was a big win for Michigan yesterday. We talk about that, don't we? Yeah, we do. All right. What else we got on here? Kansas beat Texas 57-56. That was a wild ending. That was fun to watch. It's funny. I was watching that. I turned on the last, literally, they scored the touchdown, and I watched the 2-point conversion. And it was funny because I, watched celebration. They looked shocked. They had no idea. First of all, screw the reporter they had on for that game. She was interrogating those guys. She asked them 10 questions. Like, dude, shut up. Let them enjoy it, man. She was like, what do you think about this? Are you going to Fred shirt this guy? What do you think? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, relax, lady. Jesus Christ. They'll freaking let them celebrate a little bit. She talked the ear off to him. I was like, God. Anyway, that guy, Kansas, the guy who caught the 2-point conversion and never even played a game before this one or whatever.
Yeah, he's a walk-on.
Yeah, so good for him. He will always go down in Kansas history. Kansas hadn't won a Big 12 road game since 2008.
When they won the
I don't even know how that's possible.
They won the Big 12.
I don't even know how you could do that. How are you so bad? I mean, how do you do that? You know what I mean? I don't need 5,000 days.
It's honestly a huge win for Kansas, an even bigger detriment to Texas.
Yeah, Texas boy.
They asked a reporter asked Steve Sarkisian after the game. He's like, how are your players taking this? Do you think you still have control of the locker room? And he's like, I have no idea. You have to ask them. Crap. It's okay.
Things are not good. Yeah, he needs to get it clean. He needs to clean sweep it.
Transfers, and he can just start fresh.
Yeah, he needs a clean sweep there. They just sometimes it works like that. If you want to change the culture to your culture, sometimes you gotta that's just the way it goes.
Clean house.
Whew, rough. Who started at quarterback for Texas? Was it the same dude?
They played both. It was Casey Thompson, the good one. Started, and then he came out. I don't know why. And they put Hudson Card in, and then Casey Thompson came back in.
Okay.
6 touchdowns, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. All right, what else we got? Good for Kansas. Good win. Their coach was funny, man. He didn't even know what was going on. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to handle it.
Didn't know how to win.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. They just shocked. Yeah. I mean, good for that program. Maybe this will prove that they can kind of do it. You got to start somewhere. It takes time. And you're not a scumbag like old Les Miles. You'll probably be all right. All right, Kansas, Texas, 57-56. And last but not least, Oklahoma State crushed TCU, 63-17. I mean, slaughtered them. Did Chad Morris the son start that game?
He did start.
That's a shame for him. No,
Trent's a hater of the entire Morris family. So.
I am. They stink. We're 7-3, Ryan. We were 2-10. I don't know. Whatever. Oklahoma State 63, TCU 17. That's a big win. That's a slaughter. 63 points. How is that even possible? TCU sucks. All right, let's get into it, shall we?
Sure.
All right. Let's get into the other ones. UNC Pitt. All right, we got Pitt -6 over under 75. Ryan picked Pitt. I picked UNC. Pitt went in overtime, 30-23. I thought UNC was about to come back. Pitt might be pretty good, man.
They might be pretty good. I think they're probably on pace to win the ACC at this point.
I don't know about that.
I don't think Wake Forest is better than them.
What?
I don't think so. I mean,
Wake Forest is going to the championship and winning. Well, Clemson might go.
They might, but Pitt's already beaten Clemson, so
yeah. So it'd be better if Wake Forest goes anyway.
I wouldn't mind if Pitt won, honestly. I mean,
they'd be better than Pitt.
I don't hate them or anything, but yeah, as long as NC State, which doesn't look like NC State's going to go.
Yeah, thank God, NC State. Anybody but NC State.
I think it's over for them.
Yeah, good.
But
they need a lot to happen.
Yeah, so is Clemson, but we'll see what happens.
Well, don't we just have to beat Wake Forest, and then Wake Forest has to lose again to North Carolina, or who do they play last?
So Clemson has to beat Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Wake Forest then has to lose to Boston College, and then NC State has to lose one to UNC or Syracuse, which is very possible.
Okay, that's possible. I like those odds. What is So Wake Forest just needs to win out.
Wake Forest needs one more win, and
that's it.
Yeah, they need one more win, and they're in.
Okay, good for Wake Forest.
And they're in.
Yeah, they'll probably beat Boston College. Whatever.
Well, Boston College is a good defense, and they have.
Come on now. I don't know about that. Yeah, Wake Forest has beaten teams like Boston College all year long. You know what I mean? And I think they're going to beat Clemson. So I don't. We have to beat them. If they beat it, that'd be a shame if they win the Coastal right in front of our face on our home field. That'd be a sickening sight.
I mean, Boston College's quarterback, I think he had 5 touchdowns this past week.
Wow. All right. Anyway, UNC Pitt, good for them. They think that Kenny Pickett guy might win the Heisman. That'd be gross.
Interesting. I don't know.
All right. Michigan State at Penn State. What do we got? Michigan holds off Penn. Yeah, this was a good game. I watched this game. 21-17. Michigan, man. They finally pull out that big game. They had never pulled out the big game, and they finally pulled out the big game. So good for them.
Big game, yeah. But yeah.
Well, yeah, come on, man. If it's a big game for Ohio State, it's a big game for Michigan.
Couldn't be a big game for Ohio State.
Oh, they're calling it a big game. The national media sure as hell thinks it's a big game.
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but
Ohio State's a big game.
If they get a call at a big game, Michigan's calling it a big game.
I get what you're saying, but I don't agree.
Yeah, they.
I don't think you necessarily agree.
It don't matter if you agree. That's the truth. Yeah. I'm not stopped. This is a fact. This isn't my opinion. I still do think it was a big game, but everybody else is going to call it a big game. Yeah. Everyone. And the Michigan fans have never really, they have always kind of struggled in these kind of games, Michigan, Penn State, in these moments. Right. Like, yeah. But they got that monkey off their back. This is good for Michigan. Good for them. Good for Michigan.
Good for Michigan.
Yeah, good for win for the program. Go blue. I'm with you all the way. I hope Michigan beats Ohio State desperately bad. I don't know if they will, but I'll. Yeah. All right, then Michigan, Penn State. All right, UCF at SMU. The line is -7.5. Oh my God, why am I reading that? SMU won in a blowout, 55-28. We both picked them. How about that, Ryan?
It's pretty good. Tanner Mordecai threw, I think, 3 touchdowns against the Golden Knights. And SMU's hitting stride as they hit the big game next week. So we'll see what happens.
Cincinnati?
That's the big
All
one.
right, we'll see what happens. Cincinnati, I was listening to a podcast the other night. Cincinnati was better last year than they are this
I
year.
agree. I agree.
And
They were
it's
better.
crazy that they
They
weren't.
could have gone last year
Yeah, they could have. Shame they didn't. COVID.
because they almost beat Georgia last
Yeah.
year.
I
I mean,
mean,
Georgia wasn't as good last year either, to be fair. But
granted, yeah.
still,
Yeah. I was thinking last year, we actually had football so long until December. Kind of forgot about it because football started late last year because of COVID. I was thinking about it, only 2 weeks left and then we're done. Well, I guess you have the championship games,
yeah.
which hopefully Arkansas will be in if there's a six-way tie. I wonder who goes in the six-way tie. Point spread, just like Dave Aranda said. That's funny. Never mind. Sorry. That's an unnecessary shot. I hope you're ready for unnecessary shots because we're on to Oklahoma at Baylor. Um, Ryan has in here disappointing, but the season is not over as the Bears win 27-14. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
I don't think so. I think I want you to go first. My pod, my rules.
So it's very definitely disappointing. The offense didn't have it together. Caleb just didn't seem, I guess, but really all there. I guess that's just a true freshman part of him. So the offense didn't really kick in, and just couldn't take it to Baylor. Kind of sucks, but if Oklahoma does win out, they do have a shot at the playoff and the Big 12, all that good stuff. They just have to, keep winning out, and there's opportunity to get where they need to go. So, not the end of the world. It stinks, but they can still make it.
Oh man, I've been waiting for this. I've been rubbing my chops, waiting for this moment. Ryan's been dreading hearing what I have to say about this team. In yesterday's game, Oklahoma versus Baylor, we got rid of the pretender and we made room for the contender. The Oklahoma State Cowboys are a real power in Oklahoma. They're the ones who blow everybody out, other than Iowa State. They're the ones who show everybody what they're made of. They're the ones who beat Baylor. They're the ones who've actually gone through the gauntlet and did what they needed to do. Here's what I think about Oklahoma. Oklahoma yesterday showed us everything that Oklahoma has been all year long, but they just got
It's not true.
exposed by playing a better team. Oklahoma had played nobody. Who did they play all year? One good team. Name one. I'm sitting
Kansas
here
State.
waiting. Kansas State, get out of town.
Why not?
Baylor, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State are your three biggins in the Big 12. That's just the way it is.
Kansas State. Kansas State's a pretty good team.
Kansas State, oh my God, their quarterback was half hurt. I'm not going to get an argument with you. Here's the facts. They didn't look good all year long. They didn't look that great. They've struggled against Kansas. They struggled against Texas, which I don't know if that looks any good. They struggled against West Virginia. They struggled against Nebraska. And then yesterday, when you actually play a good defense, and I'm not even like picking on you here, when they played a good defense and a tough environment that wasn't comfortable, you saw everything that they have been. The offensive struggles. Defense did play pretty well, though, I will say. Not too well, but somewhat well. And, it just kind of all came out yesterday. And I guess there was a reason Oklahoma was ranked 8th in the country. I'm not coming for you, man. I'm not trying to bash Oklahoma too heavily, but that's just kind of the way it is. They produced a quality of content all year that hasn't been that great. And then you get the result of what you got on Saturday, which isn't that good. And, like I said, everybody loses. I had 3 losses this year. I had to come on here and do it. Everybody has to go through it. And it's just what Oklahoma has done. Now, like you said, Oklahoma's a chance to make, do what they got to do. I don't think they do. I think they at least lose 2. I one of the next 2. I think they lose Oklahoma State, especially the game's in Stillwater, and it's probably going to be at night. I don't know. But Oklahoma State, boy, they're rolling. The offense is rolling. The defense is rolling. Now, Iowa State's tricky, too, because you'll sit there and be like, well, they lost. But then you go in and they go and kick your ass at home, too. We live in a world where a scenario might be that Oklahoma might not even make the Big 12 championship game. Isn't that crazy?
I don't think that's going to happen. But, I
Could it
think,
happen
honestly,
because Baylor beat y'all? How many losses do they have? 2? They lost to Oklahoma State and Iowa State? So if y'all lose to Oklahoma State, Baylor makes it in
That's
over
good.
y'all, right?
Oklahoma doesn't lose to Oklahoma State. It just doesn't happen.
Okay, you said
Uh,
that about Baylor. See what happened there.
I said I was confident. We lose to Baylor sometimes.
Oh my
Oklahoma
God,
State
that'd be
don't.
crazy if Oklahoma loses to Oklahoma State and they don't even make the Big 12 championship game.
They don't.
Ooh, Baylor versus Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship game. That'd be fun to watch.
That'd
Different.
be crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the offense is going to figure it out again.
Also, here's another thing I didn't like yesterday. I don't like that Lincoln Riley pulled Caleb Williams. Was he hurt?
Yeah.
Because he was kind of hurt, but he wasn't hurt, was he? He could have played.
He got his hand stepped on.
I don't know. I just don't like that he threw Spencer Rattler in that game. It
probably wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that bad.
I don't know. I think he sucks, dude. And the fact that that decision was made now, looking back, well, not looking on it, but if I'm sitting here saying what I'm going to say, and he's like got a hurt hand, couldn't play. He came back into the game and like, what? Yeah. You got to have some confidence in your players, man. You got to put them in tough spots. If you don't have no confidence in them, that just doesn't help nobody. You know what I mean? Stop being a weakling. Have some confidence in your guy to do what is right. You want to play Spencer Rattler, play Spencer Rattler. You want to play Caleb Williams, play Caleb Williams. Yeah, I just feel like he has no confidence. I remember, I'll never forget this. Lane Kiffin, last year, Arkansas played Ole Miss. Matt Corral threw 6 interceptions against Arkansas. 6 in one game. And they asked Lane Kiffin, why didn't you pull it? He's like, the guy's already low on confidence. Why I want to destroy his confidence even more? And I just don't know that pulling them quarterbacks, man, it's just you're not doing no favors for nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it probably wasn't.
I don't think that's a good decision.
But
also thought the play calling was weird yesterday.
I think the problem with Caleb Williams is that he tries to always go for the big play. I think that's just the true freshman side of him. He'll figure it out. But he's always trying to hit the big plays, and that's why he threw 2 interceptions. That's why he made so many incompletions. There were open players that would have gotten first downs, but he wasn't looking for first downs. He was looking for touchdowns, and that was the problem. And it was kind of the same thing that happened against Kansas. When we played Kansas, he was just looking for big plays. He wasn't looking for first downs. He wasn't looking to move the ball. And then Lincoln Riley was like, hey, stop doing that. Just get first downs. And then in the second half, that's what happened, and they won the game. Obviously, Baylor is a tougher opponent than Kansas, and they couldn't figure it out. However, hopefully they'll figure it out and right the ship and be like, hey, sometimes you just got to get
Oklahoma's not a bad football team. I don't think they're that good. And I think if they made the college football playoff, they'd be a 4 seed and have to go against old Georgia. Then they crush them.
But I think you're right. But I think there's definitely a lot to play for. You're still
make a nice bowl
to win the Big 12. You're still got a very good chance to get to the playoff. I mean, it's incredibly. I mean, you got to think Georgia's going to go undefeated. They're going to make it, right? You got to think most likely Cincinnati's going to make it if they keep winning. One of the Big 10 teams will make it. Michigan State, Ohio State, one of them. I say Ohio State personally. That just seems like who it is. That's 3 teams. The other team that would possibly get in there are Bama and Oregon. Most likely Georgia's going to crush Bama. That's just what Georgia does. And then look at Oregon. They got to play Utah most likely twice, and you got to play Oregon State. Everything's there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm interested. I think the Big 12 is going to change. It's going to be a little different this year. Well, we'll see if Oklahoma State can actually beat Oklahoma. Yeah. But if they do, that'd be crazy. Poor Ryan would be so sad. I would bash him. Bash Oklahoma.
We'll be bashing Arkansas next week. So.
No, my God. I don't bash Arkansas against Alabama. We play tough competition, unlike somebody in here.
We play tough competition too.
Like who? Baylor? Kansas State? You go play Auburn. You go play Texas A&M. You go play Ole Miss. Go play Alabama, Georgia. You don't play them people, boy. Ain't got no competition. Y'all be 8-4 in the SEC.
Play them in big bowl games and beat them.
Oh, my God. That's because they don't care. They want to go to national championship.
I don't know. beat Auburn. I think they are ready to
Oh,
shit out of them.
there you go. There's my Oklahoma destroying our. It's not too bad. We'll see what happens to Oklahoma. SEC, right? SEC, SEC. What do you think about that, Ryan? Those SEC chants.
Not a huge fan of them personally.
Yeah, y'all about to get that boy. Y'all watch. All right, NC State at Wake Forest. I watched the highlights of this game right before we started. Wake Forest, I like Sam Hartman. He had a couple interceptions yesterday, but I thought they were a little out of his control.
Yeah.
I liked NC State's defense fell apart. I don't like NC State, so I'm happy they lost. They also beat Arkansas in the baseball playoffs. I don't know if you remember that, Ryan, but I do not like NC State.
Yeah.
I'm an NC State guy.
I was watching this game. Both quarterbacks didn't play very well. A lot of interceptions from both of them, honestly. And they're both just very cold coming into the game. They just couldn't get, like Sam Hartman was missing throws, Leary was missing throws. And of course, some of them led to interceptions for both of them. Things started to pick up later, kind of toward the end of the first half, going into the second half. And Wake Forest, I think, was the better team overall. Their defense kind of showed out. It doesn't look like it showed out, but they did. They did what they needed to do. And of course, Sam Hartman did what was needed to win the game. And honestly, Wake Forest, I still think they're the second best team in the ACC. I think Pitt's the best. They just look like they have everything. They have the defense. They have the quarterback, the running backs. They're just good.
Yeah.
But it was a huge win for Wake Forest. They packed that stadium out. It was really cool to see. They normally don't do that, so it's kind of cool to actually see like just a sea of blackness. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But it was a good win for Wake Forest. Huge win. I'm glad they beat NC State.
Yeah, good.
If they can beat Clemson, they're in the ACC championship game.
There you go. I think they probably will. Yeah, I like Sam Hartman a lot, man. I like the Wake Forest. I mean, they just score points, dude. Clemson can't score any points.
That's true.
But Clemson has better defense, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, Mississippi State at Auburn. Wow. Auburn was up 28-3, and Mississippi State won, 43-34? That's incredible. Bo Nix got benched at the end of it, which I didn't think he had too terrible of a game. I saw his stat line. I was like, but maybe he just wasn't getting it done. And then TJ Finley came in and like fumbled. What, he had an interception at the end of the game?
I didn't watch the end of the game. It was pretty much over at that point. But yeah, it was. I think it was the largest comeback in Mississippi State history. A huge comeback.
28-3.
Yeah,
Patriot style.
Patriot style. Yeah. Auburn just fell apart, man. I don't know what is going on with that program. It seemed like they had everything.
Wish we played them at this time. We beat them. Unfair. Totally unfair for us.
I just don't like it when you play Auburn.
True.
Yeah, it was a crazy game. Good job for Mississippi State. Their quarterback threw, I think, 55 times and 400 yards or something like that. He killed it, Will Rogers. Huge win for Mike Leach.
Yeah, good old for Mike Leach, man. Mike Leach, goofy guy. His dancing video, incredibly goofy. He's a goofy fella. What a goofy guy. What else? Yeah, goofy guy. Good for Will Rogers. Good quarterback. Very good. Arkansas, can't believe we beat them. Good for us beating them. They're a good football team. Mississippi State and Arkansas on the rise in the West. All right, what else we got on here? UConn at Clemson. We're gonna swim through this. Clemson sucks, man. Clemson, man, I tell you what about Clemson. They have a great defense, like great defense. Great. Yeah. They wouldn't have scored 7 if it weren't for that kickoff. The defense literally gave up no points. But their offense, whoosh, sheesh, it's terrible. God, it's awful. That 44 points it's a terrible, like awful. God, it's bad. Like, I don't know if I have enough adjectives to describe how awful and terrible and undesirable and painful it is to watch that offense. And now that DJ's hurt, it's even worse than it was before.
Yeah.
And he can't run the ball. So it makes it even way he can't throw. He can barely throw it. There were points in that game yesterday. The wide receivers don't do him no favors. They drop passes, and then he overthrows people. And then he has a guy wide open in the field, and he throws it to a crowd of people. Or they're crazy, man, crazy. I don't know. It didn't look good yesterday. I wasn't happy with what was going on in that Clemson game. I thought they should have beat UConn by more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that when I was watching DJ and someone brought up like a really good point. He does well when you go super fast, when he doesn't have to think about it. You just go. Um, like when he did, to win the game against Florida State, he played very well in that 2-minute drill in the final drive to get the points. Obviously, Will Shipley pushed it in, but DJ was playing well. Even against Louisville, 2-minute drill at the end of the half and 2-minute drill to win the game, DJ played great. The 2-minute drill against UConn at the end of the half, DJ played great again. It's kind of makes you think, why don't we just go fast? He seems to just do well. He doesn't have to read defenses and sit there and play mind games. He just goes. I don't know why we just don't do that. Anyways, it was a lot of players didn't play in this game. Will Shipley and Kobe Pace, our two best running backs, did not play, which kind of hurt because the run game was just nothing. We kept trying to play. I think it's like our fourth string running back, Darian Rencher, and nothing happened. And of course, I think Justin Ross got hurt. Was trying to see what's up with that. Hopefully, it's not too bad. But yeah,
he seems to get hurt every game. So
yeah, it doesn't look like an ugly win, but it was an ugly
win. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Clemson, they got to get on track, Bo. You cannot lose to South Carolina. Whatever you do, you just got to beat South Carolina. Now, they are awful. So we should be able to beat them. But you make sure you beat them, man. I don't think they're going to score any points in that game now, but they are terrible. But we'll see what happens. All right, Georgia at Coastal. Georgia State. Coastal lost. Sad. Coastal is back down to earth. Jamie Chadwell got to get out of there. Maybe he should go to Florida.
Maybe.
I don't think he will.
He needs to take a step up, but
Coastal. I mean, Grayson McCall getting hurt kind of hurt their chances. I mean, pretty heavily. I'm not really sure. I didn't really watch a lot of this game. Brian, do you have any insight?
Not a whole lot. I mean, Georgia State kind of came out to a lead. I think it was like a 10 or 14-point lead, and Coastal just couldn't catch back up.
I know Coastal went for 2. They almost tied it up. So they went for 2. They got a passing interference. First of all, listen, you get a passing interference on 2. There is no way you don't just try to run that ball in there and try to score with the big hog mollies because you're so close. I mean, literally, you could throw the bam, boom, bam, boom, got the ball over the line. I mean, you're right there. You can't get any closer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, Coastal wasted their opportunities. The defense couldn't shut down Georgia State down, which is not good.
Yeah.
You got to be able to stop Georgia State.
Well, Coastal doesn't have to worry about not getting to the Fun Belt Championship anymore. So,
yeah, because we're not making it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, sad loss for Coastal.
Sad. Coastal Carolina probably still going to the Myrtle Beach Bowl. All right, Georgia at Tennessee. Georgia, 41-17. I thought, man, I was like, whoa, this thing. That first Tennessee drive, I was like, this is going to be a good game. I was wrong. And settled down. Everybody calmed down. Everybody relaxed. And Georgia just crushed them, man. Even Stetson Bennett looked pretty good yesterday. It's true. I mean, his ability to run kind of changed the game for him. I still do think they need to make JT Daniels the guy. And I don't know when they plan on doing that. Maybe next week against Charleston Southern. But you gotta get him going. I don't know what's taking you so long. Maybe they don't like that he can't run.
I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're just going to stick with Stetson Bennett. For some reason, Kirby Smart loves Stetson Bennett. I don't know why.
Because he can run.
I guess. He's not a bad quarterback, but why bring JT Daniels if you're not going to Like you brought him to Georgia for the purpose of winning national championship. This is your year, and you don't want to use it. It's just stupid.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
However, Georgia just, I mean, I think Tennessee had 2 touchdowns off the rip, and it was like, oh, well, this is cool. And then Georgia just did what Georgia does, and just shut them down and just completely ended the game. So another Georgia beatdown.
Yeah, I was happy with I mean, Georgia, not happy, but I pulled for Tennessee. I like them, and that was kind of an intense game for them. But Georgia, they're just a good football team. I thought that was the one yesterday that was going to get them, and see if there was one that could get them, but they couldn't. Tennessee's defense couldn't do anything about it. See, the problem is Tennessee's defense is god awful. Tennessee's offense is good, but you have Tennessee's offense going against the great Georgia defense, and Georgia's offense is pretty decent. It's pretty good. That Brock Bowers dude they've got is great. He's a great tight end. They, so you're kind of like a rock hitting like an immovable object going against an unstoppable force there, But in the end, Georgia's defense is going to win those battles most of the time. You can score 7. First of all, 41. It was 41-10 for a majority of this game. That 17 isn't even a close representation of what it was actually.
That was like last minute garbage time touchdown.
Exactly. It was just a touchdown. So Josh Heupel has like never in his head coaching career scored under 14 points. He's always at least scored 14. So that was he just wanted to get that 17 on the board so he could say he did it.
And that was the most that has been scored on Georgia all year too.
Ooh, that was the best offense they played in those Arkansas Razorbacks. So making it do. All right. There you go. Georgia, Tennessee. Georgia, good football team. Go figure, right?
Right.
All right, let's do some quickie. Let's do a quickie here. Minnesota at Iowa. Iowa wins 27-22. To be tied with Wisconsin for the West. Oh, so Wisconsin beat Iowa, didn't they?
I believe so. Wisconsin is still
ahead.
On tiebreaker. But they have the same record technically.
Yeah.
So we'll see who gets in there. I think Minnesota's done.
Minnesota has to beat Wisconsin for Iowa to make it, though, I'm pretty sure. Because I think for a fact that Iowa's already played Wisconsin and lost.
I think you're right.
So they need Minnesota to beat or Wisconsin to lose another game. I don't know who Wisconsin plays. I think it's Northwestern and Minnesota. So that. Oh, okay. So they play Nebraska. They play Nebraska to Minnesota because I know Minnesota's the last game of the season for them. So they're gonna lose one of those games and Iowa can't lose anymore, which I don't think they will. Who does Iowa play?
They play Nebraska at the end of the season. That's their rivalry game. And then I guess
did Nebraska win yesterday?
They bye week.
They had a late bye week.
A very late bye week.
Good Lord. Oh, they had the 2 bye weeks because they had the week 0. They played in week 0. Yeah. How about that? All right. What else? South Carolina and Missouri. Oh, God, this was torture. I watched this. So what I would do is I would flip. So if Georgia went on the commercial break, I flipped it over to South Carolina versus Missouri. And then once they went the commercial break, I flipped it back over. And I just kept that's how I watched the 3:30 slate. Oh, man. Turns out Florida just sucks. And what we had last week was a mirage. Turns out South Carolina still sucks. So the offensive line cannot block. It just cannot. They had what's most impressive about that game yesterday. First of all, they both Missouri and South Carolina are awful. Bad. But what about that game yesterday is that South Carolina was not able to run the football on the worst rush defense in the country. And that alone tells you how god-awful their offensive line is, and it is not good. Connor Bazelak played for Missouri. Missouri hopped out to this crazy lead. And then I quit watching because I was like, it's over. They've won. And then all of a sudden, South Carolina flipped it back. They were down 31-28. I was like, oh, my God, what happened? South Carolina got 2 key turnovers.
Did you see the interception?
What? Yeah, I did see it. Yeah.
About an awful interception. You literally just gave it to a South Carolina guy.
Yeah, they're just bad football teams, Missouri had that corner. Oh my God, what was his name? Maisie, something like
The
that. Yeah, the running back for
running
Missouri.
back. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
good. Um, the punter.
Maisie. I don't remember his name, but yeah, they were something last night, man. I tell you what.
I
Oh yeah, somebody had a punt that went sideways. Who was that? Was that
think that was
Missouri?
Missouri. Missouri tried to give this game away. They
Yeah, they
tried.
wanted to lose to South Carolina. I
It
mean,
was,
they had one thing that was the officials now. Woo, they were a little on the side of old South Kakalaki last night. Now, that's good for South Carolina, but man, they had some penalties in there. See, the thing about that was the refs tried to help South Carolina as much as possible, and they just did not care. South Carolina would be like, all right, there was one time the refs give them a 45-yard penalty, and South Carolina ended up punting after that. I'm like, man, they stink, dude. South Carolina sucks. They're just,
it
it's just going to take some time for them to get where they need to be. I don't know if they're going to get to go bowling. I thought yesterday was their best shot. I
I
mean,
think
it's going to be Auburn
and Clemson.
and Clemson,
You have
and
to beat.
I don't know if they're beating Auburn.
You have to beat. You have to beat one of the three Tigers, and you've already lost to one.
Oh my God, the Tigers. Yeah, they got 3 Tigers in a row. Oh my God. That's crazy. You see Auburn retired their eagle yesterday as well?
Like,
Yeah, the
yeah,
war eagle they have. They're getting a
or-
new one, but the
okay,
one that they fly around the stadium or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, the last day was the last game. I guess they're on the I don't know why you're not for Alabama. They're introducing a new bald eagle
I guess
for
they probably
Alabama.
wanted to win the game. They didn't, but
Yeah. But
more win.
anyway, you know, South Carolina just not good, man. I mean, they're okay, I guess. Jason Brown isn't it?
No, he's not.
But they put a. I mean, he had some. See, the problem yesterday is the problem they had all season. They can't run the football because the offensive line is so bad. So that puts a lot of pressure on a guy who's not that great. So if you want to take a guy like Jason Brown, isn't that his name? And he's not that good anyway. What you need to do is run the football effectively, and then you're going to do play action. You can kind of space them out, but they know all you're going to do is pass. What are they going to stop? They're going to make sure you're not able to pass the ball, and
Mhm.
it's going to be harder because he's not that good to start with.
Yeah,
So Missouri, South
yeah. The only
Carolina.
reason they even moved the ball a little bit is because he can. He's very mobile in the pocket. Jason Brown is.
Yeah.
And so he was able to maneuver around some sacks, tackles for losses, and try to make some plays, but he didn't make enough of them.
Yeah.
He didn't good enough to make enough of those plays. And you're
Okay.
right, that run game was bad.
Abysmal.
Kevin
Yeah. I don't
Kevin
know.
Harris,
That I think it's the offensive line's fault too, man. Their offensive
I
line is bad. Real bad. Real bad.
it'll be interesting to
I think
see
they
with
have pretty decent little wide receivers there. I don't think their wide receivers are too. I think Josh Van's pretty good. He's the only one. Leggett's okay. Their quarterback, I mean, their tight end, Tanner Muse.
uh, the other Muse,
Nick
Texas
Muse.
with the Clemson.
Yeah, Nick Muse, I think his name is.
Something like
He's pretty good. So I mean, they have the talent. They what they don't have is a quarterback, and they don't have the offensive line. You get rid of you
or
fix those two
secondary.
things. Well, defense is a whole nother story. But if you fix those two things on offense, you got something going. Because you got
You
good running backs, you got good wide receivers, you got a great wide receiver coach. I still hate South Carolina for stealing him. I still despise them for that. But I think overall, you know, pretty good for Missouri. South Carolina is not as bad. They just need a quarterback, man. Recruit a quarterback and start him freshman year. That's what I
well,
would do.
Les Doty.
Because no, Luke Doty's garbage.
Well, that's what they did. He's a 4-star guy. They started freshman year.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right. He needs to get healthy. Maybe he'll be good. Next year will be the talent card for him. They need to find yeah.
They get the offensive line. I think he is a step above a Connor Shaw. I think he's more talented than Connor Shaw was.
That's the most talented quarterback they've had there in a while.
Exactly. But Connor Shaw has some of the best receivers South Carolina has ever had, some of the best running backs South Carolina's
And a
ever
pretty decent offensive line.
had a good offensive line, and one of the best defenses of all time. Like you can look at that South Carolina defense; it's one of the best defenses of all time.
Arkansas still beat them when we were good, and then we lost to them when we were good. It happens. Um, yeah, there's South Carolina, Missouri. Poor South Carolina. Poor South Carolina. Sad. All right, there you go. All right, Purdue at Ohio State University. Ohio State waxed them. We'll run through this real fast. 59-31. They had no defense, man. This game played at Purdue may be different, but I don't even know if it's different than Ohio State crushed them.
I think Ohio State's secondary is also weak. It's just hard to see that in the Big Ten because no one throws the ball. But that is their weakness. Ohio State has a bad secondary.
All right, there you go. Ohio State. I'm not talking too much about Ohio State. Get riled up. I'm not feeling that great anyway. I need to calm down, not talk about Ohio State. It's not gonna make me mad. All right, here's your big game for tonight. Well, one of the big games. All right, Ole Miss at A&M. They won 29-19. I had no confidence in Ole Miss. That score is like, oh man, 29-19. That's pretty close. This game wasn't really that close. I mean, Ole Miss always felt like they were in control of the football game. They had moments where it was like, uh-oh, maybe, but then not really. They just offensively couldn't get it done. Calzada didn't look great. It's just kind of surprising that happened like that. I didn't see it coming. I thought Texas A&M was the hottest team in the SEC West. I even thought they had a good chance to go to Alabama. I mean, go to the SEC championship because I think Alabama's going to lose to Auburn. I still do think that, believe it or not, Ryan. But not now, not now. Obviously, Texas A&M lost to Ole Miss, so they're out of the running. This is good for the SEC West six-way tie, though. It's crazy, though. If I really want that to happen, it's going to come down next week. For both South Carolina has to beat Auburn and Arkansas has to beat Alabama. Those are our two biggest hurdles. It's possible. I'm not going to rule it out, but
not impossible. Yeah, it was a very weird game. Ole Miss's defense really came out to play.
Here's another crazy. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to throw this out. I would put a lot of money on Mississippi State beating Ole Miss in Starkville on Thursday night, on Thanksgiving night. I think they're going to beat them. I think think Mississippi State a good football team, man.
They're a good team.
They got good defense. They got a good offense.
I just want to hear both post-conference.
Oh, my God. I want to see them shake each other's hand in the middle of the field. That'd be wild to watch.
Be awkward. But yeah, good win for Ole Miss, honestly. Great defense. Good.
Next week's going to be weird. Might have weird episodes next week because Arkansas plays on a Friday. Ole Miss plays on Thursday. Yeah, they're gonna be a weird. Thanksgiving week's always gonna be weird. We'll know more next week though. I still think Arkansas can win that game against Alabama. We'll see. All right, what do we got? Notre Dame at Virginia. We'll run through this one real fast and we get to the money, man. Notre Dame at Virginia. Brennan Armstrong did not play. Ryan, what was the stat you told me before we started? Virginia held this guy out, right?
Yeah.
No, they lost 28-3. Virginia did. Notre Dame won 28-3.
Brennan Armstrong is the FBS leader for yards. He has the most yards out of anyone in the country for passing yards and yards total. So not having that hurts Virginia. I think it would have been a lot closer, and Virginia probably could have won this game with how well their defense actually played. So it's a shame, but yeah, gotta save him.
No, what did you tell him? Tell me what you told me before about how they held him out on purpose.
Oh, yeah. So he's injured. They said he could have played this game, but they wanted to hold him out for the Pitt game because Pitt, if you beat Pitt, you have a good chance to go to the ACC championship game.
Yeah, you beat Virginia Tech.
So game, there's really nothing there.
I mean, Virginia, they've lost 4 games, and they still can win the ACC Atlantic. I think it's right, Atlantic.
Coast
of the Atlantic. So we're in the Atlantic.
Yes, Clemson's in the Atlantic.
Oh my God, I thought we were in the coastal this whole time. It's very confusing. Why can't they just say north and south, man?
Yeah.
But then it's kind of weird because I'm pretty sure Louisville, Kentucky's more north than some of those North Carolina teams. So Wake Forest is actually above North Carolina and NC State and Duke. Fun fact for you. Wake Forest, I think, is more north than all those teams.
Yeah. And then
Boston College is way north, actually. They're in Massachusetts. I forgot about that. So I guess it is north. I don't know why they do it like that.
Syracuse is in the Atlantic. Pitt's in the coast.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Syracuse is in the Atlantic. They're way, 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 way north.
almost as far as north you can get. Almost.
Mm-hmm. And then Pitt's not in the Atlantic.
They're in the coastal.
Man, I feel like we play Pitt every year.
I think we
Every
played them last year, and then we played them in 2018 because we played them in the ACC championship. I
I'm
think the only
tired of.
reason last year is because of COVID stuff.
I'm tired of playing them. I'm ready to play somebody else. Good for good for Clemson. Not good for what are we talking about? Good for Notre Dame. Good for Cincinnati. That's who really this is about. Cincinnati is Notre Dame not making a playoff. People, they actually, I don't know why they won't because they just refuse to die, refuse to go away. But I feel like that Cincinnati loss is hurting them more. It's helping them by far.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they get no respect. None. Zip, zilch, zero. It's crazy to think too. You think you feel respect as an Oklahoma fan. They were like Notre Dame is just got no shot. Whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, here's your hog molly. The hog molly. Arkansas versus LSU. We won 16-13 in overtime. A lot to say about this game. Not enough time to say it. I'm just kidding. The boot is back where it belongs with people who respect it. LSU had put the boot on a white folding table last night, and the boot was so heavy it crushed the folding table. And then they just left it there. They did not pick it up. Good for Hogs, man. Good for Coach Pittman. We're 7-3. No one would have. Well, last year we were 3-7, Ryan. You know, so the fact that we're like polar opposite of where we were last year is just great. We keep on breaking these records. This group of seniors and super seniors have never beaten LSU. They've never made it to a bowl game. They never beat Texas A&M. What else have they never done? They never won 7 games, obviously. Sam Pittman also gets a $500,000 bonus in his contract. He gets $100,000 bonuses for every win he gets. So I think 6 wins is $100K, 7 wins is $500K. I think 8 might be 800 or $1 million. I don't even know what 9 would be. If he got the 9, that'd be nuts. So I think we're going to be, and I think we're going to end up 7-4. I mean 8-4. That's just remarkable. We're going to beat Missouri. Missouri's awful. And Alabama, I don't know. I don't think so. So with that being said, I'm pretty happy about it. You know, I was thinking about it last night. It's about over. You know, and I'm sad about that, but Arkansas is going bowling. I'm kind of hoping it'll be Clemson. I don't know if it will be, but that would be fun. And then I would definitely go to that. Wherever it is, I would go. They would have to. A man of integrity. I'd have to go to Clemson and Arkansas. Still have never played each other in football. And only a couple years ago we played each other at all. They never played each other before ever, until they played in basketball a couple years ago. So, just good win for the Hogs. Did you watch, Ryan, or no?
I watched the ending. I was mainly watching the South Carolina and the Texas A&M game.
You mean Ole Miss and the Texas A&M? South Carolina was not playing Texas. Well, they did, but they fucking got crushed. Yeah, I was pretty happy. Field goal in overtime. I was actually miserable throughout the whole game. I thought they played like garbage. The offense couldn't do nothing. The defense was spectacular. The offense was garbage. It kind of made me mad, but whatever. You can't have it your way all the time. You know, this ain't Burger King. So we won the football game. LSU did a lot of things, man. They play hard for that guy. For a team that has nothing to play for, absolutely nothing. They're not making a bowl game. They're garbage. For a team that's not making a bowl game, they play very hard. If Dan Mullen could get his guys to play half as hard as LSU, they would have crushed South Carolina and they would crush Samford. Coach, they like that Coach O guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a good coach. He's not utilizing the talent they have there. Because like I told Ryan before the show, if they get somebody in there that got know what they're doing, oh, good Lord. It's gonna be a tough sled. And if Lane Kiffin does go there or Jimbo, I mean, it's Jim. You can say what you want about Ole Miss, Texas A&M. LSU and Alabama, those are the two big boys. I mean, LSU competes for national championships. I mean, they won one in 19 or what 19, yeah. And then they won one in 08 or 07, the 07 season, 07-08 season. They're a good football program, man. They compete for national championships. They played for one in 12. You know, I mean, they're a good football team. They compete in national level. You know, I think they're one of the better teams in the SEC. Probably they have a great environment. You know, I think they shouldn't be what they are right now. They really shouldn't. I don't think them firing Oates helped anything, which probably doesn't help the fans. The stadium wasn't as full as it could have been last night. Thank God. It still disrupted us. But the fans weren't that loud. I mean, they were loud, but it wasn't as what it was.
Yeah,
If
it
it
was.
was like 19 or something yeah, it was a lot of open seats. Which was good. And one of the funniest things, I'll end it on this. I saw a halftime video from an Arkansas fan I follow on Twitter, and they asked him, "What do you think? What are your thoughts on the first half?" And I thought this kind of encapsulated the whole game. He didn't know it at the time, but I thought it did. He looked at the guy camera and said, "Well, I think both offenses suck ass." And I was like, "That's true. They're both god awful." The play calling last night, woof, it was rough. Them Arkansas fans, we're volatile people. They had a guy. This is kind of funny. We had a guy. So Arkansasians, and there's this SEC dude named SEC Mike. I like his podcast. He's a good guy. I follow him on Twitter. And he posts power rankings after the last SEC game was done. He posts power rankings. So we were last. So Arkansas just won the boot immediately after he posted his rankings, and then he put Tennessee ranked above Arkansas, right? I think it was like 5. We were 5 and they were 4, or maybe we were 6 and they were 5. It doesn't matter. Oh man, them Arkansas fans wanted to burn. They wanted to burn some bridges last night. They wanted to burn that guy's house down. That was they were going at him. Now Tennessee is 5-5. We are 7-3 in the SEC West, so we deserve some credit, But the SEC West isn't that good, man. Missouri's god awful. Vanderbilt's terrible. South Carolina's bad. Tennessee, Florida's bad. Kentucky, I don't know, bad kind of. Georgia's the only one that's any good.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it, you can argue Tennessee's okay, but they would be the only one that I would argue that would be any good. Kentucky's been shown as frauds. They lost to Tennessee, Mississippi State, and Georgia. So, you know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, what else we got? We got Washington State and Oregon. There's your Arkansas Razorbacks. Woo pig. The boot is home. The boot is back where it belongs. It's where it belongs. The boot. Now, Bama. Bama. Alabama. Bring on Bama. All right. Last but not least, Washington State at Oregon. The line at oh my god, what am I the line? Oregon won 38-24. Not much here.
It was tied 14-14 at half. And I tried to stay up for it. I fell asleep, I think, somewhere in the third quarter. But Oregon started pulling away in the second half. It was an interesting first half, and then the second half, nothing.
Well, fun fact for you: I watched Kansas. Beat Texas. I didn't even turn it on to Oregon. I turned it on to Texas versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga was crushing them. They were blowing the whole time. I was like, "This is a bad night to be an old Texas sports fan." There was a video that was circulating on Twitter today. I don't know if you saw it, Ryan, but it was this Texas senior. Some guy goes to Texas, and he was in his arms of his buddy, I guess, crying, weeping, gnashing of teeth. You saw it because he said he'll never. I guess it was an older video. I just never seen it before, but it was like Oklahoma beat him, and he said he would never see Texas beat Oklahoma. Isn't that something? Well, he lost to them last year. Y'all beat them in the Red River rivalry, and you beat them in the Big 12 championship.
In 18, we lost to them in the Red River rivalry,
and then beat them in the championship. Who did y'all play last year? Oh, you played Iowa State in the championship last year. You didn't play Texas, did you? Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We played them. We just didn't play them
in the championship game. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I thought that was funny. Them people in Texas are weird, dude. They have weird people out there. Only normal school out there, I think, is Baylor. Texas is freaking cultish. Texas A&M is a cult. Texas has cult qualities.
Yeah.
Like Texas A&M is a legit cult. Like everything I see from Texas A&M is insanity. Then people out there are weird. I think they're just weird people. The rules I seen from them are just nuts.
You're okay.
I just saw that they make freshmen go out there for like a 3-day orientation camp. Texas A&M. I
That is
had a
cool.
whole list of stuff they make you do. I'll have to like post it. It was a TikTok now. I'm thinking about it. They make you do. They have that midnight yell, and then you see what they did for Halloween. They like had like torches everywhere and stuff. They're weird people out there in Texas A&M. That's a weird school for weird people.
Those are the military schools.
Yeah,
Citadel,
Baylor.
like,
Yeah, Baylor is the only normal Texas school. I don't know. Even they're a little weird. Yeah,
I mean,
well,
like, I mean, if you look at like
they used to be a little weird. They're probably
Texas
more normal
Tech,
now.
TCU, SMU, they're no.
Yeah, SMU is kind of TCU and SMU are a little more Christian-y. Not
Yeah.
too much though. But
I mean, they do have Christian in their
yeah, it's
names.
true. Texas Christian University and Southern Methodist University. So
Houston's okay.
UTSA, normal. Good. Good football team. Winners.
They're what, 10-0?
Yeah, I believe so. That's good. Shout out to Jeff Traylor and Barry Lenny Jr., former Arkansas Razorbacks. It's crazy though. This is the end of the episode. Thanks for liking, subscribing. But what crazy week in college football. The big kind of hog mollies. You got Oklahoma losing, Georgia crushing, Arkansas winning. And what else? Penn State losing to Michigan. Ohio State. There you kind of your headlines. Ole Miss beating Texas A&M. How about that? All right. If you have any other questions, concerns, let me know. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TNR Sports, TNR_sports. Just look up TNR Sports, it'll show up. Follow us on Twitter, TNR Sports 1. Follow me on Twitter, TNR Hog, Ryan M. Gunn 67, I believe. There you go. Don't delete that, Ryan. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends, man. If there's anything you want us to talk about, get ready for a bunch of stuff this week too. A bunch of stuff. Here we go. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.